There is a simple way to strengthen your muscles and send signals to your bones to stay strong, and that's by turning to resistance training. We'll share the science behind building back stronger bones because Bloom Health Club starts now.
From the Stream Center, welcome to Bloom Health Club, sponsored by Monticciolo Family and Sedation Dentistry.
Bloom Health Club, I'm your host, Gayle Guyardo, and today we're helping you build back stronger bones with strength training coach and the co-founder of X-Force Body, Illy Stoilova. Illy, it is so great to have you as the newest member of Bloom Health Club.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm excited to be here with you because Illy and I go way back about 6+ years now. I met Illy when I was still anchoring morning news. I was going through menopause. I was about 25%, or I would say 25 pounds heavier, and I just wasn't feeling good. And the interesting thing was I was at the gym on a treadmill, running and trying to lift weights 7 days a week. And now I work out twice a week, building strength with you for about 20 minutes a session. And it's been transformative because you're using science-based equipment. Tell me about it.
So X-Force is negative training equipment. And the negative means the lowering portion of the repetition. And the negatives are a buzzword word in the fitness world. And what people maybe don't know about the negative is that we're 40% stronger on the way down. So if you can lift 100 pounds, you can lower 140. We're just stronger. So with regular equipment, basically we're wasting half of our set because half of the time we're lowering the resistance. Well, the equipment X-Force adds automatically that extra 40%. So you're lifting, so you're working both ways, but you're lowering almost twice as what you're lifting. And that allows for deeper workout. We're breaking down the muscle on a deeper level. Your body is forcing extra hormones. They're so healthy. Growth hormone, insulin growth factor, interleukin-6. We can go into detail if people care what those do, but they're amazing for the health. And this is why you require so much less time in the gym, but more recovery, and you feel great, and the results are so... but we say strength training is like medicine, even better than medicine, right? So what about dosing it correctly to where we're not overtraining, we're not getting injured? So taking all those things into account. But
it's different than any other workout that I've ever experienced. And I've always been a little bit of a workout buff, but was so intriguing to me because I remember I found out about you because I was sitting in my backyard with my then co-anchor, Eugene Ramirez, and I was whining and complaining to him about how much weight I'd gained and how miserable I felt going through menopause. And he said, you should go see this Illy Stoilova, this X-Force Body. Give it a try. In 6 weeks, you'll see a transformation. And he was right. But the best part of the story, and I think it's what got me so hooked, is when I found out your history, that you were in rehabilitative, you worked at rehabilitation centers. So you were pushing people in wheelchairs, people who didn't embrace working out, people whose bodies started to fail them. And at that particular point in your life, you're like, something's got to change. And that's when you found out about the study going on in Gainesville, Florida, where the University of Florida is. You found out about the study going on, you became part of it, and it became your life.
Right. Actually, the workout became my personal workout for a little bit. And then when I was pushing the next wheelchair at work, and I was on the way to become a physical therapist, this was my path. I looked down at my patient, and believe me, I loved my team. I love my patients. I still have gifts from family members. I loved what I did. And I look and I go, oh my goodness, why people get old in the first place? It's not because of age, because you see somebody who's 86 who can still golf and take care of their yard, and there's another 86-year-old that's in a wheelchair, and they've been in a wheelchair for the last 5-7 years. And I said, what do we lose with aging? It's inevitable. We start losing muscle. You don't need a PhD in exercise science to give me that answer. So we start declining until we can't even get up anymore. And another thing that I realized is that maybe 1% of these patients ended up in a wheelchair because of some God forbidden accident. Most of them were there simply because with aging, they kept losing their tissue, their muscle. And I go, if they did my stupid workout, and when I say stupid, I mean it's so quick and to the point and in a way simple, brilliant but simple, right? If they did my workout 20 minutes twice a week, I mean, Gayle, you work out less time than you're probably flossing and brushing your teeth. It's taking you less time throughout the week,
it's
right?
True. It's true. You're in, you're out. It's remarkable. The sad thing is there are only 2 brick and mortars in the Tampa Bay area, 3 more in the Northeast, and then of course the OG system where all the research was done in Gainesville. I want to bring in my producer who's switching the show today, Nacha Castilla. Nacha, you hear me talking about this all the time. I actually go to X-Force before I come in to work in the morning, and we've worked alongside each other for a while. We've known each other for longer than that, but it is transformative.
Yeah, and it's really I guess inspiring. Like I feel like I've definitely learned a lot since I started working on Bloom. So maybe I haven't necessarily been part of the full health journey in your life, but it's really cool to learn alongside all of these experts and like yourself, learn about strength training. I had no idea. Of the things that you can do to strengthen your bones and your body and the benefits that it has long term. So,
and I don't think most women do, because we look at strength training or resistance training in a man's world. Right. But nobody should be embracing this more than women, because I come from a lineage of small, frail Italian women. And my mom, her back broke because of osteoporosis. My grandmother's back broke because of osteoporosis. So it's hereditary.
It's
and we
scary.
talk a lot about the why. And when I first started with Illy, I wanted to lose weight. I was tired of not fitting into my clothes. I felt terrible. I felt frustrated. But then my why changed because I'm an older mom. I'm hoping to be a grandma one of these days. I don't want to be in a back brace or debilitated because I didn't keep up with it. So then it becomes about the commitment and the consistency. And over time, I realized it's like you said, somebody convinced us to brush our teeth. Why didn't they convince us to just do this consistently?
It's coming though.
Yes.
I noticed in the last 5 years, people have been talking about muscle more. We never heard about it before.
No.
Yeah, everybody was cardio, but
Yeah.
I started, before we started, I told you the reason behind it. It was just that trend back then. Yeah. And now we need to keep educating.
Yeah.
And like we do, before we even book a new client, I do almost 45 minutes to an hour. We do educating, then they experience the workout. Because education feeds the passion. The same thing happened with brushing teeth. People needed to be educated that, you know what, if I don't do this, I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
Right.
It happened at some point
Yeah.
because it's not a fun activity. Doing X-Force is not a fun activity, okay? It's not necessarily pleasant, okay? But we put ourselves through that little bit of a effort because we know the benefits.
Yeah.
Flossing and brushing is not fun, but we do it because we do it for the benefits.
And do you think, in general, the fear was kind of like women mostly were afraid of doing strength training because they thought, oh, I'm going to look masculine, I'm going to look bulky.
Of course, yes. And what needs to be understood is women only look bulky when they lift if they're eating too much. And we help with that part, that when you're eating balanced, When you're getting all your nutritional groups and you're looking at how much you're eating, you'll never be bulky. You're going to be your best version. Your body, your dream body probably weighs more than you think, but also it will never be bulky with weights.
To me, it's been the exact opposite, because you have a machine that we go in and
the
scanner, and I could see just in the first 6 weeks, I just kept getting smaller, stronger. You could see the muscle definition, but definitely I've tightened up in a way that makes me feel like I'm back in my 20s again. Like I thought those hips and that backside was there to stay, but it's not about age. It's not about any of that. Now, I in the interest of full disclosure, I did get my thyroid health in check, which I was destroying doing cardio all the time.
Of course.
So I backed off the cardio, and I did get my thyroid in check, and I did get my hormones completely balanced, which also helped the work that I was doing at the gym. But I think the other thing that's really interesting about it is, even though I'm not going to lie, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's a difficult workout, but it's only 20 minutes. And I just mentally tell myself, you just have to get through this. You've got to do it.
Of course.
And the endorphins and the high that you feel after the workout keeps you coming back. And it's interesting because you have a bunch of coaches there, and you always have to report what you ate, how you slept, how much water you drank, how much movement of walking that you're getting outside of, the X-Force workout. And they really don't care if you didn't sleep that well. They might lighten it up a little bit. But the name of the game is no excuses. Show up. And when you show up, you get that high. So what is scientifically happening in the body that makes you feel like you've got this burst of almost superhero energy?
I love that you said that, because every time after my workout, I'm thinking this: I will always be obsessed with the happy, high feeling after an X-Force workout. Mm-hmm. And why that's so much more than a regular workout is because of that negative. So the intensity level, you can never touch that intensity level with traditional weights, because the traditional weights don't give you that extra resistance. So your workout is extra intense. You're digging on a way deeper level to break down the muscle, and this is where you're getting all those extra hormones. It's like it's miracle.
A game changer.
Yeah, I know.
Now, as we mentioned, this equipment was developed in Germany. It's not
in Sweden.
In Sweden, sorry. Yeah. It was developed in Sweden, and it's only in about 6 brick and mortars across the country. But what Illy always recommends to our viewers, because she's been on our globally syndicated health and wellness show, Bloom, many, many times, is that when you're working out with weights, do not rush it. Don't start doing that thing where you're swinging back and forth with no form and grunting, and that all might look cool at the gym. But at the end of the day, you're supposed to be bringing it up how many counts and lowering it how many counts?
At X-Force, we lift in 3 seconds, we lower in 5 seconds, and the high intensity training, the Nautilus concept, which is what we do, they were a little bit quicker, which is 2 seconds up, 4 seconds down.
No, but if you're home and you're doing squats or, push-ups,
I would recommend even slower.
Okay.
5 seconds up, 5 seconds down, and really envision the contraction. Think about the muscle you're working. Our mind is powerful, and actually when you think about the muscle, you're contracting way more muscle fibers. So you're getting stronger just by thinking about contracting it. It's a neurological...
there was a study of somebody just imagining that they were curling a weight and not actually doing it.
They restricted them from moving, and they had the group of the research subjects, they had them just imagine contracting a muscle, and they actually got stronger just by thinking about it.
That's unbelievable. I want to go through some of the viewer questions now, because I think this will help folks. Because again, whether you're working out at your regular gym or maybe you're just using your body's strength at home, these are all things that you can apply to your day-to-day. And I can promise you, if you slow down, you're going to feel it a lot deeper in the muscle, and you're not going to hurt yourself at the same way. Like, I don't ever get injured because form is key during these workouts and staying focused, which is also amazing. But Martin wants to know, do you think it's more effective to split your workout between individual parts of the body rather than doing a full body workout?
No, I don't think it's more effective. And actually, the splitting the body, what they call the bro split, has zero scientific evidence behind it.
You mean like back bi, chest tri?
Correct. It's simply
abs.
it's making your workout less demanding. It's easier to go and train two muscle groups. But we have 50 plus research with Nautilus, MedX. This is in the course of 50 years. And this is how we found the sweet spot. You know, Dr. Darden, his team back in the day, they train people 6 days a week, 5 days a week. We're talking with measurements, muscle, everything. With splitting the body, they tested it all. 4 days a week, 3 days a week, 2 days a week. Even they had a group of people with 1 day a week. The best results and the most sustainable results over time came after 2 workouts a week with at least 48 hours rest in between, but full body rest. Because what they found is that the body as a whole, the systems of your body, they don't know where the stress is coming from. Your body doesn't know if you trained legs, chest, back. It's the same process. I had to talk to a client this morning about this. Your recovering systems don't know if you had the flu or if you train your legs. It's a stress to the system. We need to allow it a full body recovery so it can properly recover.
Now, during that full body recovery, though, we're allowed to walk and get out
just
there.
no lifting.
No lifting.
Just no lifting. You can walk, you can play tennis, pickleball.
You dance.
Dance, right?
Yeah.
You can go dance. Exactly. You can do your just no lifting.
Okay.
So you're ready to go again. And do you know what's funny? To this day, I've been doing this for 15 years. I'm doing my workouts, and my days are Monday, Thursday. On Wednesday morning, I wake up and I'm thinking, am I getting sick? Oh, never mind. That's my Monday workout. Because you feel this, you never feel after you adapt so many times you've done it, you've never feel like exactly where the soreness is. Mm-hmm. At some point, you start feeling this overall.
Right.
What's going on? Oh, never mind. I worked out on Monday.
Right. And it's your whole body.
And you can feel that
right.
Your body needs that recovery. So if you want to be more productive, if you want to prevent yourself from overtraining, prevent injuries, reduce your training and recover it full body, train at full body, way more, you're going to feel better.
All right, let's go to Sasha's question. What roles do sleep, stress, and food play in our overall health?
So we have the pillars of health, which is exercise, nutrition, hydration. Remember this, sleep is not just another pillar, it's the foundation that holds everything together. If you have everything else right and you're lacking on the sleep part, at some point, it's almost like building a house in the sand. Sleep is the most important thing, and 99% of the muscle building happens when you're sleeping. 99% of the fat that you're going to lose during your training program, you're going to lose it while you're sleeping. This is how important. And then, the brain benefits. And there was one study which is shocking. You know how people think that they're okay on 6 hours? Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm okay. I'm good. I drive on 6 hours of sleep. So they did one group of people, they got them drunk to the legal limit of being drunk. The legal, where you don't get a DUI. And then another group, they deprived them down to 6 hours, right? Because the recommended is 8. Their brains were functioning the same way. The drunk to the 6 hours of sleep.
I believe
when you think, and most car accidents don't happen because of drunk drivers. They happen because of drowsy drivers.
Yeah. I trust me, I was one of those drivers when I was working the overnight
Can you
shift.
imagine?
So
We're
terrible.
talking 6 hours when most people.
That-
Do you know that the average person sleeps 5?
That's crazy.
And they're driving, functioning. I mean, I remember Ariana Huffington. I heard her speak once at a conference, and she found out she almost died because of the lack of sleep. And she made it a point where she removed the TV from her bedroom. She made it a great priority. And she goes, now when I'm meeting with people, business meetings, and they brag about how they sleep 4 or 5 hours, I tell them, this conversation will be way more fun if you slept 8. Right? But she
love
did it great.
I love it. All right, let's go to Megan's question. Megan wants to know, should we embrace carbs as part of our diet? I know you kind of answered to this earlier, but how do carbs help us, and what kinds of carbs?
Carbs are essential when we're trying to build a strong body. Now, if you're not lifting weights, you can do your low
Carb.
But if you're focused on improving your body composition, carbs are essential because they give us the right energy. They help us produce glycogen, which helps build and recover the muscle, especially with our workouts that are so intense. When I say carbs, I don't mean Oreos and cookies, okay? They fall into a totally like the junk section. When I say carbs, I mean rice. I personally prefer jasmine white. You can do brown. Sourdough bread. Less ingredients, right? Potatoes, sweet potatoes. Those are the healthy. It's giving you the perfect source of energy.
That's amazing. Okay, that's all good stuff. In closing, Illy, because we only have about a minute left, but how did your world change embracing this?
I feel better than ever, and my goal is just to be as strong as I can be. And I know this is my lifeline, and I can talk about it 24/7.
I know. Me too. I just want to, I want to personally thank you because I do feel better. And again, in the interest of full disclosure, I did start it off for a shallow reason. I wanted to just look better. I didn't feel very confident with the way, and I didn't feel good. But now I've seen, I've gotten the DEXA scan, I'm under the right medical care. And the number one thing that doctors prescribe is this resistance training for women when you're trying to build back bones. Yes, the medical world can step in to help you tweak things, recommend the right nutraceuticals and the right supplements and the right foods. But this is a pillar that I'm hoping that more and more women embrace. So
I hope so.
I love you, my friend, and thank you for being so transformative in my life. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too.
All right, and we want to thank our sponsor, Monticciolo Family and Sedation Dentistry, for believing in Bloom Health Club so that we can bring you these guests day in and day out. And don't forget, you can watch our streaming show, The Bloom Health Club, on Apple TV, Fire TV, Roku, Samsung TV, WFLA.com, and YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcast. I'll see you on the next Bloom Health Club.